word in its most extensive sense, for every perception of the mind, whether active or passive. And all of this, it is certain we are only stewards. God has entrusted us with these powers and faculties, not that we may employ them according to our own will, but according to the express orders which He has given us. Although it is true that in doing His will, we most effectually secure our own happiness, seeing it is herein only that we can be happy, either in time or in eternity. Thus, we are to use our understanding, our imagination, our memory, wholly to the glory of Him that gave them. Thus, our will is to be wholly given up to Him, and all our affections to be regulated as He directs. We are to love and hate, to rejoice and grieve, to desire and shun, to hope and fear, according to the rule which He prescribes, whose we are, and whom we are to serve in all things. Even our thoughts are not our own. In this sense, they are not at our own disposal, but every deliberate motion of our mind, we are accountable to a great Master. God has, secondly, entrusted us with our bodies, those exquisitely wrought machines, so fearfully and wonderfully made, with all the powers and members thereof. He has entrusted us with the organs of sense, of sight, of hearing, and of rest. But none of these are given to us as our own, to be employed according to our own will. None of these are lent us in such a sense as to leave us at liberty to use them as we please for a season. No, we have received them on these very terms, that as long as they abide with us, we should employ them all in that very manner and no other which He appoints. It is on the same terms that He has imparted to us that same excellent talent of speech. Thou hast given me a tongue, says the ancient writer, that I may praise Thee therewith. For this purpose was it given to all the children of men, to be employed in glorifying God. Nothing therefore is more ungrateful or more absurd than to think or say, our tongues are our own. That cannot be unless we have created ourselves, and so are independent of the Most High. Nay, but it is He that hath made us, and not we ourselves. The manifest consequence is that He is still Lord over us in all this, as in all other respects. It follows that there is not a word of our tongue for which we are not accountable to Him. To Him we are equally accountable for the use of our hands and feet and all other members of our body. There are so many talents which are committed to our trust until the time appointed by the Father. Until then, we have to use of all these, but as stewards, not as proprietors. To the end we should render them not as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but as instruments of righteousness unto God. God has entrusted us, thirdly, with a portion of worldly goods, with food to eat, raiment to put on, and a place where to lay our head, with not only the necessities, but the conveniences of life. Above all, He has committed to our charge the precious talent, which contains all the rest, money. Indeed, it is unspeakably precious, if we are wise and faithful stewards of it, if we employ every part of it for such purposes as our blessed Lord has commanded us to do. God has entrusted us, fourthly, with several talents which do not properly come under any of these heads, such as bodily strength, such are health, a pleasing person, an agreeable address, such are learning and knowledge in their various degrees, with all other advantages of education. Such is the influence which we have over others, whether by their love and esteem of us, or by power to do them good or hurt, to help or hinder them in the circumstances of life. Add to these that invaluable talent of time with which God entrusts us from moment to moment. Add lastly that on which all the rest depends, and without which they would be all curses, not blessings, namely the grace of God, the power of His Holy Spirit, which alone worketh in us all that is acceptable in His sight. We will continue with part 2 in the next video.